Hey y'all, today we're going to be talking about kinesics. Kinesics is the study of the way certain body movements and gestures serve as a form of nonverbal communication. Kinesics, like personal space, is influenced by a number of variables, such as culture, sex and gender, left and right-handedness, language behavior, the ability to decode and interpret, and decoding eye behavior. Today we'll be looking closely at culture, sex and gender, and decoding eye behavior. Don't mind the man mowing next door. Can't wait on him to do this. Culture influences almost everything we do, so it's only natural it also influences kinesics. Culture influences how we stand, how we walk, the gestures we use, and the emotion we display or hide. For example, the difference between a young African American male and a young Caucasian male. A young African American male shows defiance authority by having a lip stance. Their head is lower, their body is relaxed, whereas Caucasian males are complete opposite. Their body is rigid, legs apart, and hands forming fists. Another example would be how we non-verbally greet one another. In most European countries, when someone greets another person, they typically embrace and give a kiss on either cheek, whereas in the United States, we typically greet each other with a handshake, a wave, or a hug, depending on the person and the setting. Sex and gender is another thing that influences how he or she reacts and acts. Remember the difference between sex and gender. Sex is the biological determination of an individual. Sex and gender is a psychological or sociological determination. Or our facial expression is a result of training from childhood. It is also a type of sex stereotyping. Boys are taught that only sissies cry, and girls are taught that frowning makes you less pretty. Both sexes learn and or are taught that when they cry, pout, get mad, or get sad, they are less attractive. Stupid, right? As a result, a lot of women are known to have fake smiles to hide negative emotion or to appear more enthusiastic, like fake it till you make it. Women tend to be more sensitive to kinesics messages and response to them more readily. This could be that women are taught what to look for. Females are also better at sending kinesic messages. Women more so than men tend to smile more, nod their heads, and use more gestures. During my many grade level meetings the other day, I smiled and nodded a lot to show that I was actively listening to them, especially since I tend to have a serious case of RBF, resting bitch face. I am also very observant of how they stand, their facial expressions, gestures. I do not know if that's because I was trained to do that or that's just something I do. Decoding eye behavior such as eye contact and gazes, pupil size, and eye direction. Eye contact has its positive and negative aspects. On the negative side, we're all taught as children it's impolite to stare. I also catch myself saying that to my niece sometimes and my students, to not stare at people. However, maintaining eye contact when appropriate is important. For example, when you're giving a speech or presenting, it is important to maintain eye contact with your audience. I personally tend not to do this because I hate public speaking, and I will probably always hate public speaking, but I can speak in front of my children all day. Self-esteem also plays a role in eye contact. When an individual has high self-esteem and the message is positive, the eye contact increases, whereas an individual with low self-esteem and a negative message, the eye contact tends to decrease. Low gaze tends to decrease when a person's behavior becomes more predictable, and averted eye contact shows that the listener is bored. On the other hand, high gaze and prolonged contact mean the person is attentive. Research shows that eye pupils indicate the level of interest. The more interested a person is, the more the pupil dilates. Of course, psychological reasons also play an effect on pupil dilation, such as drug, alcohol, and darkness. Kinesics, the study of the way certain body movements and gestures serve as a form of nonverbal communication, something we all do, is something we need to pay a little bit more attention to, especially when it comes to reading somebody's body language. That is it, y'all. Have a great evening, afternoon, or morning whenever you are watching this, and I am very sorry for the person mowing the yard next door. There's no way I can control it, but have a nice day.